was coming in person or getting over Zoom. But anyway.
How are you? I'm
Bye-bye.
fine, thank you. So you've been here since we've done the hybrid Zoom?
Yes, she's been here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she.
Yeah.
Oh, that was interesting.
Yeah, that's why we go live and then we turn it off here because there's some delay,
Oh, okay.
so.
I guess I'm on vibrate. Phone's on vibrate.
Okay, so I printed like 5 copies of the agenda,
Okay.
but where are the others? I had.
Probably still here. Go ahead, let me get it.
Okay.
Okay, I was making sure my phone's on
Because I only have
vibrate.
1 copy here. Thought I left the
Oh, yeah, they all here.
Okay, fine. And we have 5 minutes before we really start the
Okay.
meeting.
Let's hope everybody appears. I wasn't sure who's in person, who's on Zoom.
I understand.
Yeah. Should I get to read that article? Donna sent me about
What articles? Here?
my housing.
Oh, it's about SB 9. A judge threw it out.
Yeah, why did you do that? Can you make a comment on public comment?
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, well, under public comment, I don't know that, well, I can. I mean, the reason he threw it out, I mean, say now, is because he said it essentially made no provisions to require affordable housing.
In all the units?
Right,
How is that possible?
well, SB 9 is the one that allows in a single, in an R1 zone, somebody be able to subdivide their lot into 4 smaller lots
Right.
and build on all 4. But it doesn't achieve a goal. There's nothing that requires
Affordable housing.
the creation of.
But we still have to have the 10% affordable housing in new developments, right?
No, only if they want to get incentives.
This SB one?
Yeah, no, in
SB
other-
nine, this
SB
SB nine.
So in other words, if you want to spend your own money
Right.
or borrow money
Mhm.
and build a luxury apartment building and completely follow the zoning rules,
Mm.
you know, whatever they are,
Mm.
however many units, however high, I mean, no, asking for no extra incentives and waivers, you can do it the way they used to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
that's true.
okay,
The 657,
somebody's entering.
probably nothing. There you go.
I have to take a Zoom call upstairs.
Okay. Okay.
Who's Read AI? I don't care.
Read.
It doesn't matter, that's fine with. That's fine. I just don't care. I don't know who it is.
I don't know.
Hi,
Artificial intelligence.
yeah, it says read.ai. So we are now recording the meeting as you requested.
Director of Transitional Homes, this is interesting. Let me get my pen out. Never heard of such a person.
Who?
Director of Transitional Homes.
Oh, yeah. Devon,
Yeah.
that's.
So it's entirely possible that
Oh,
this
I
is.
didn't know.
I'm listening.
Zoom itself may have,
I think so too.
but that's okay.
That's interesting,
Mhm.
especially when it's saying record the meeting. Always about 7 o'clock.
What's going on with Benny? I haven't heard back from him.
Oh, they're gonna be on here really briefly. Salonika, not Benny, well, they're working together on something, so she's gonna let us know something we lost her too.
Well, Salonika has attended via Zoom.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, I have to, I always remind me, but I gotta remind everybody that we're looking up at the screen when, if we have people there
Uh-huh.
and not, I mean, we can look at each other, but I have to remember not to look at just the computer. 'cause
Right.
Well, would it be better if I sit right here? Or is that
It doesn't matter.
somebody else?
Oh, yeah, you can sit there.
Sit.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
No, because the camera
the-
comes to you anyway.
That's fine.
Yeah.
All right, then I'm good.
As long as you speak in, the camera zooms in on you.
Okay.
So talk a little bit, say anything.
Hi, tell me your name again.
I'm Laura, but it's supposed to be catching you.
It sure is.
Is it?
It just kept me when I just said, huh. Maybe it's not getting
Let me
your,
see.
yeah, you better take that
Let me
off.
see if this, can you see me now or hear me now?
Yes,
There we go.
yes, there you are.
Oh, my.
Yeah, it's picking up your,
It's
let's see.
usually highly sensitive,
Mhm.
weirdly highly sensitive.
That is
When
weird.
when they were decorating this house for Halloween,
Mhm.
they had set up a ghost, it's just a figurine in the corner, but anytime somebody moved, it blew because it was made out of, it was an air like a balloon thing. And the camera kept going towards the ghost.
Oh,
It was funny.
Well, it's 7:01. We
Yeah.
need to get started. Somebody's trying to come in.
Roger.
Oh, Roger. Hi, Roger.
It's only 7:00, but yes.
Oh, well, mine says 7:01. Hello, Mr. Estrada.
Good evening. Good evening.
How are you?
I'm doing all right. It's been a long day.
Right and early. Do you need any time constraints today?
Yeah, by 7:30, just,
Okay.
So
that's
we're,
all.
hi Roger, it's Laura.
Hey,
We're
Laura.
maybe for another person or two, so.
That's fine. My updates will be quick. It's been a slow month, so yeah, just let me know when you're ready for me.
Right.
Sounds good. People are texting me. I wonder what's going on. Hopefully they can get in on the Zoom. That's strange. Matthew, he said he can't get in the meeting.
Yeah.
Oh, brother.
Does he have the right,
He has the agenda.
does he have the right, link?
I don't know. He has whatever's on the agenda.
Okay.
Hey, what's going on? You can't get in? Why?
Here, I can read him
Okay, let's read the numbers to you. You looking at the agenda? Oh, you didn't have Zoom.
oh, does he have a phone, but he can call in,
You can call in.
right, so,
Okay, he's gonna try it again. Okay,
okay.
okay, because you're first on the agenda, but you have a moment. Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay. He said he probably tried to, he may make it this time.
Salonika's in. Is that how we?
That's
spell it?
Salonika? Huh?
Is that how, are you and I pronouncing it correctly, Salonika?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she's here.
And then, hi, Salonika. Oh, it's still low.
Hi, good evening, Tori. My apologies. I was there on mute.
Oh, okay,
you
because
all?
I'm like, you had the ellipses after your name. I was like, maybe it's still loading. That's Benny's partner right there. That's Salonika. Dr. Gloria was just asking about Benny.
Oh, hi, Gloria. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Yeah, I haven't talked to you in a long time.
She's gonna update us on what they're working on in a minute.
All right, thank you.
And go ahead and say, Benny, what were you saying, Salonika?
Oh, no, I was just going to say Benny is doing well. We've just been so busy with working and all of the efforts behind trying to bring more relief to our members and also just explore and expand more partnerships with community-based organizations and also government agencies.
Oh, okay, well, you know you're going to repeat that after the general public comment, right?
Okay.
You know, And I know you guys on a constraint of time, and so we're gonna move the meeting right along. We have CD10 on board,
Right.
have a couple of organizations that's just logging in. I see that possible collaborations. I know they have a couple of people right now that could be candidates for your organization.
Right. So should we like call the meeting to order?
Yeah, the
Share
meetings,
this-
yeah, since everybody's populating in now. Okay, it's 7:05. Technically, I called the meeting at 7:01, but everybody wasn't in yet, so we'll extend it to 7:05 PM. And we'll go ahead and get started.
Right.
Well, I'd like to welcome everyone, and I just want to open it up for, if somebody's trying to come in right there, for general comments in a few minutes. And general public comment includes anything that's not on the agenda.
Right.
So anything that we feel is relative to what's going on right now with homeless population, with housing.
Right.
It just had a situation with SB
Right.
9 that Dora's gonna speak of in a second.
Yeah, I'm gonna raise my hand. We also have on this agenda a round robin on current issues in homelessness.
Yeah.
So don't bring, if you want to have an actual discussion about something, that would be on item number 4, round robin, because a general public comment literally is you make a comment, but we don't comment.
Right.
But we don't comment
Right.
on your comment.
Right.
So if you want, have something you want to discuss, wait please to item number 4.
Right.
So this is Laura speaking, I'm your Zoom host, and can everyone see the agenda,
There's Matthew.
pretty much?
Welcome, Matthew.
So,
Yes.
Okay, we're looking over the agenda really quick, and so we can see the order. Hopefully everyone understands. Hopefully everyone understands the difference between number 2 and number 4. Number 2 is you're just making a comment, and number 4 is you want to have a bit of discussion about it. Okay, and that could be a different topic or the same topic. Okay?
and we're also, because we have Council District 10 here with us, we're sort of gonna insert Council District 10 right after welcome and call to order, is that correct?
Well, actually, I was gonna
After
do it
general-
after 2.
After general public comment.
Right.
Okay,
So CD10, Roger, you'll be right after public comment, and that may, anything that's made a public comment, you may want to comment on with your update for us,
Right.
okay?
okay.
Okay, so public comment is open. Gloria, you have anything or anybody? It's 2 minutes.
Oh, 2 minutes? Yeah, well, I guess a general comment I have is that I'm really struggling to fill beds. I know there's supposed to be housing navigators that are in the city. I just don't have any sending anybody our way. We house women only at Joy Youth Services, 18 and up. And I just noticed also that there are a number of houses that are saying that they that people can live there for free. But ours is not free because we don't have the funding, so it's really tough competition when we have to pay, when we're asking someone to pay $700 a month versus others pay nothing. But that's my comment.
Okay, any other public comments? Yes, Laura?
Yeah, Tori asked me to just make an update / comment because you may have seen emails going around or little news stories that a local judge has basically ruled that the state law SB 9 is unconstitutional, or anyway, threw it out. And the SB 9 is a housing initiative that would allow owners of properties in single-family zone neighborhoods anywhere in the state to essentially divide their lot into 4 lots and build 4 single-family homes, but really small lots. And the judge ruled that no, this law doesn't work because what it's not doing it's not really being responsive to the housing crisis because it's not mandating any affordability or, I mean, in other words, it can be just luxury townhomes.
So if somebody
Yeah.
decided, well, we'll talk about that later on discussion then.
Right.
Okay, any more public?
So that's my understanding. I'm going to guess the state of California will appeal this decision.
Yeah, did they hear you when you said that?
I hope they do that. The state will likely appeal the decision.
Okay,
That's my crystal ball, though. I don't know for sure.
okay, I have a couple of comments on that afterwards for round robin. We'll talk about that later. Any more public comments? Donna, anything going on?
Yeah, I'm concerned about public transportation and the violence that is happening. I really, the lady that was killed at Universal Studios, as well as bus drivers being stabbed. I think they're going to definitely have to do something very different than what is happening now. People are allowed to get on to public transportation with weapons. No one is even overlooking that part of it. And it's becoming so bad that people that are using it for their place to live or to ride around all day and are carrying weapons are very dangerous to the people who are using it for transportation to their jobs or homes. And it's really frightening.
Yeah, that's another thing we can talk about during round robin. Any more public comments? Okay.
So Roger.
So Roger Estrada is here from Council District 10. He's gonna give us an update of what's going on around the West Adams and Harvard Heights and Kenny Heights, all the areas. Roger, thank you for coming today.
No, of course, my pleasure to be here on behalf of Councilwoman Heather Hutt. Thank you for having us and giving us the time to share a little bit of our accomplishments. LASA just gave us preliminary numbers that are pretty solid as far as the amount of people that we housed in the last year. 554 people moved into permanent housing from CD10. So we're happy to share those numbers with you. We wish it was more, obviously, but you know, there's not enough inventory out there to place people. So things are moving better than before. I want to say that. I want to say that Karen Bass's administration is a lot more proactive instead of reactive to the issues on hand. They're very open-minded in taking not only just criticism, but they're very open-minded in learning from what we've succeeded in CD10 and how they can apply it citywide. They have been reaching out and they have been making the right changes. So we're happy that we're starting to see those kind of things from the city. Happy to announce that Lindsay Horvath's office has also reached out and kind of asked, you know, what can be done and what the county can do some more. So conversations like that I haven't had before. So good to see that the new people that have been voted into office and are taking this thing serious and are now really taking it head on, like, you know, no, I've never seen before. So that's
Right.
that's something I wanted to share. Not a lot going on. Council has been on break. They should be back in session next week. We have seen an uptick in RVs lately, but we have been able to handle more of these RVs that are just abandoned. Most of them, we realize are registered to landlords. You know, they'll have 5 or 6 registered to them and they'll park them on the streets. We're starting to take action against those. We've done operations on West Boulevard, Rancho Cienega. They were parked there in the lot for a while. We're taking care of the ones in Washington pretty soon between Arlington and, between Arlington and Crenshaw. We should see a lot less RVs parked there.
Arlington and Crenshaw?
Yeah, there's a
Yeah,
lot
there's right in front of the print shop there between 6 and 7.
Yeah.
Between
Oh, yeah.
on both sides of the street.
Yeah, I saw that, but they got most of the ones between Normandy over there that was in front of the cemetery block, and they moved those. Okay.
Yeah, so you know, we're very proactive there. We're offering a lot of outreach. There's a lot of places available for people to take. Just the other day, we were able to clear an encampment, open up 4 beds. People took them. So hopefully the work is being done, that you guys can see it. We
Yeah.
have a rapid response team out there cleaning up the streets as much as they can right after we house people. So that's
So,
that's pretty much it. I mean, like I said, it's been a slow month so far. Yes, Laura.
Laura?
yeah, so Roger, when the RVs are being towed, are you usually present?
I am, yes, because I want to make sure that,
Fine.
they are
So,
abandoned, number one.
Can you help ensure that they're properly towed down to the gauge lot and not to the not permitted lot on Washington?
Oh, yeah.
They're not taking them there. They're taking them somewhere outside the city.
They have taken some of them to what's essentially the former Alpine Restaurant Supply, the lot to the east of Alpine.
Which one is that?
Right to the east
Well,
of the.
Okay, so do you know where Wilshire Tow is?
No, I don't.
Regular Wilshire Tow is on the south side of Washington, basically across from Wilton Place.
Right.
Oh, yeah,
And-
yeah. Have they been taking RVs there?
They have been taking them to the lot 2 doors down, two doors east. They have leased the Alpine, again, Alpine was a restaurant supply. They've leased that facility, and they would like to get official permission from the planning department
Tell
to
them who-
expand their operation.
Tell them who they are.
The OPG, Wilshire Tow.
Hotels. Yeah, I know them.
Rick, yeah. But they don't have permission now, and they still have the lot on Gage where they do have permission, and that should be where this stuff is towed and not impact our neighborhood.
Mm.
Yeah, from what I know, they weren't supposed to take them anywhere
Rick-
local.
Yeah, Rick told us that he admitted that they towed 2 of the ones from the cemetery into that lot.
That's not our district.
Correct. So since you're there, since you're going to be present,
Wait a minute.
since you're going to be present, can you please just make sure they go to the properly approved lot?
Yeah, the last ones that we had were way outside the district, so
Yeah, down to
we haven't had
Gage.
that issue. But
Yeah.
just so you know, even if they are bringing them here, they're only holding them 15 days and then destroying them.
That's not really the point.
No, he got it. He got it. So.
No.
Wait a
It's
minute.
really-
No, I
that's
understand what
He knows what you're saying, Laura. Listen,
it's
Roger,
yeah.
the one that was in the cemetery, in front of the cemetery is not your area?
No.
Yeah, but it's the OPG's area. I mean, the police.
No, but I'm trying to figure out whose area is.
That's Council District 1.
That's
Maybe
But
one.
but the towing companies are not divided by council district.
No.
They're divided by police district.
Right.
Yeah,
And
Wilshire and Olympic. That's
Yeah.
Olympic Division.
Wilshire Tow has the contract for both of them.
Right.
For Wilshire, which is its name,
Do you
but
know
also for
how long
Olympic.
they're holding them there for, Laura? Are you able to see those?
Well,
vehicles?
it doesn't, again, the point is they shouldn't be dragging them into an unpermitted lot for even 5 minutes.
Right.
They should drag them to the lot that has been permitted by the city.
Okay, but
Meaning one lawbreaker shouldn't be creating a second lawbreaker.
no, but he's got it. But he will not be at that particular location because that's not his district. However, what you can do, Roger, is could you let CD1 know
Well, no.
possibly
the
not
next
to do it
round-
there?
The next round is gonna be west of Arlington, that is Rogers.
Yeah, but just in case.
I'll check with
They
Danielle,
get-
the field deputy, to check the permits.
Thank you.
Exactly.
Well,
Yeah.
there are no permits. I can send you that information. They're applying for them. It's gonna take a good year
For it to get through the system.
You think?
Yeah.
Well, it's supposed to be expediting.
Yeah, they
for
expedited a lot of
emergency
this stuff.
crisis. Pardon me?
They expedited a lot of this stuff, so I want to make sure that,
All right.
maybe
I'm
just.
sorry.
Okay, Lauren.
I'm not unknowledgeable. They paid for, this is for planning and zoning. They paid for an expedited application.
Okay.
It is now on hold, however, because there's many issues.
Okay.
And I have my community crystal ball is that regardless of what the decision is at the hearing or after the hearing of zoning administrator, it will be appealed and this will be a time-consuming process.
Okay, Okay, so with that said, Roger, could you please
Just make sure,
communicate with the other council
yeah,
districts?
and try and just make sure that the RVs get, to the extent that it's Wilshire Tow, which handles Wilshire Police and Olympic divisions.
Right.
And there must be another division westerly in your in CD10, I don't know, and Southwest is not involved in this conversation.
No.
But they tow wherever they tow. But Rick from Wilshire Tow has a legit lot that the Community Redevelopment Agency bought for them on Gage, and that's where these RVs should be going. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, we'll talk about that
It's a
later.
long story. But the
Okay.
short story is there is a good receiving lot, and that's where they should go.
Okay, so Roger, the bottom line is please communicate with our districts that align CD10 to make sure they don't
Yeah,
deliver.
I'll let the field deputies know because that's outside of my parameters as far, so I wouldn't know. So I'm not. Yeah, I trust.
Yeah,
our-
appreciate that. Yeah, we appreciate
Right, no,
that.
I mean, it's just interesting because we did
Uh-huh.
ask.
Got people that gotta get on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we did
I
ask
wonder.
that.
I'm thinking about a few things because I talk to these guys and sometimes they just hold them for a day or so until they got room in another lot, then take them. But yeah, I don't. Like I said, I can't speak to it. That'll be a field deputy thing. So
Right, okay.
I'll check with them.
Okay, let them know and we'll follow up. Okay.
Other than that, that's all I got.
Okay, any questions for CD10? Saladika, you have any questions for Council District 10 or
You know what,
Donna?
I don't. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Of course.
Thank
Go
you
ahead.
for the RVs that are parked next to Arlington Heights School, next to the public storage,
Yeah,
very close to an elementary school for them to be.
Yeah, we got something planned for that very soon. We're already working on it, so hopefully we can
Thank you.
alleviate that situation.
All right.
'Cause I
Thank
do
you.
not like sitting in traffic on Washington in the morning heading west. So
Oh,
we're gonna get
wow.
that anti-grid zone back.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Roger.
All right, thank you,
I
ladies.
got
Have a good night.
Wait, I
Yeah,
have
go ahead.
one quick
I'm here.
question. You said you housed 554 families in CD10 alone. Did you know how
554
many?
people.
No, I know people. Did you know how many we had initially?
Initially,
that's
we had
right.
I think that by the count last year,
Uh
we had about a little over 1,000 people.
huh. Okay.
700 of those were in K-Town. I can tell you that.
700 were where?
700 of those were in K-Town.
Oh, really?
That's where we had the densest population of homelessness concentrated. Only
Yeah, I
because
got-
we that's where CD13, CD1, and our district all come together. So
Yeah.
it's wild out there. I can tell you right now, that's probably the most complex work that I do is in K-Town. It's probably my
Yeah, I
hardest job
believe
that
it.
do.
I rode one morning to feed in that area, and there was little spots that I had never traveled down, and that's hard to believe because I go a lot of different streets. And so I was wondering, one family that I came upon, it was the landlord's fault for some faulty wiring, and their unit caught fire, what have you. And it was a mother and a son. And it was the saddest thing because the mother was not the healthiest in the world. But people like that, is there any way that we can help them a little quicker? I know, Donna, hold on. Is there any way we can help those situations?
Let us know about them and connect them with us.
Okay.
And we have
Okay.
Alan. Alan handles housing, like that kind of housing. We have Alan that can help look for resources for them.
Okay, what's his name? Alan?
Alan Pulido, yeah.
Polito. Oh, Polito. Is he Pulido?
Yes.
Okay, I remember. Okay. Polito. Okay, perfect.
But you can always come through me and then we'll connect you with them.
Oh yeah, I'll make sure if anything, if I come across anything like that again. But yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, we've had
Donna?
an influx of undocumented families, and I mean families, about
Ooh.
5, 6 people at a time.
So is it possible to just give them a ticket back across the border? I didn't say that.
It's,
Anyway.
It's difficult. Lasa's running out of money very quick on helping them. I'll tell you that much. So we're
I
turning around
know.
with them.
I know. But yet, did you see there was $65 million cut to Lassa the other day?
Yeah, it's hopefully when things become official, we can speak on that a little more. For now, I'm not allowed, so we'll get
Okay.
there. Yeah, we'll get there.
Okay. As long as you keep me posted, because we need to be helping the people that's here.
Yeah, there's a
Roger,
lot of
I
things
just had
going
a
on.
quick question.
Go ahead.
My apologies for interrupting. I did want to introduce myself, Roger, as Salonika Smith, the Director of Member Services for LARCA, which stands for Licensed Adult Residential Care Association. And so we're a nonprofit organization co-created by funding and support from LA County Board of Supervisors, as well as NAMI GLAC, Greater Los Angeles County. And we are a nonprofit organization representing more than 400 members of state licensed adult residential care facilities and residential care facilities for the elderly. And so we are working in all areas as we can to better engage and also provide relief with regard of permanent supportive housing for those who are unhoused. And once they are properly evaluated, assessed, and determined to have a serious mental illness, that's what our state licensed facilities are. They are whole person care facilities in a residential like environment for those who have been diagnosed with a serious mental illness. And so I put my email address in the chat. And so if there's a way that maybe we can work in any way possible to serve the need, we are looking to branch and try to connect better with LASA and with other service organizations who are caring for our unhoused, but also looking to place them in permanent supportive housing.
Salika, I got my email address there. Can you connect with me and maybe we can meet more in depth and talk about this? So I'm very interested, and this is another resource we can use.
Right.
Yeah, did you see it? I just added it to the chat.
Yep. I haven't seen it in the chat.
I haven't seen it in the chat yet, but
okay, I'll do
information's
it
on the chat.
again. Okay, let me send it back to everyone.
Yeah, send it back. And then also, after Matthew introduces himself and well, after I introduce Matthew, and he tells us about the transitional homes they have, Salonika may have to leave. So I don't know if Salonika wants to.
Okay.
Matthew, can we let Salonika give her a brief?
Well, wait. Was Donna gonna ask Roger a question before we move?
I don't know.
We're moving on to
Donna,
number
did you have a question for Roger?
No, I mentioned the RVs around Arlington Heights.
Okay. Where's Salonika? Okay, there she is. Okay, Salonika, could you briefly tell them what you're working on right now at this moment with Benny? So then, if you want to stay, you can stay. But the whole purpose of this panel today was I would have Dr. Rodney, who is a psychiatrist and has been for some years, and assisted living and transitional homes is a marriage made in heaven, because right now, I'll give you an example, there's a transitional client who really should be in assisted living. Okay, then there's also clients that really need to be visited by the psychiatrist or go to the psychiatrist's office. But we gotta make some kind of plans for repair. While you sitting in transitional living, you should be repairing and fixing people. I mean, there's a chance there's no alcohol or drugs allowed on the premises. I mean, whatever you do outside is a whole other story. But we supposed to be here to help mend the people.
Right.
Even when they're mended, it's not going to mean that they have enough money to move. So you're still going to have that income for a while until they can get to permanent supportive housing. I'm not for going directly to permanent housing unless you really can show that you have the capability to do so. But while you're in transitional housing, you get to observe the behaviors, see who's violent, see who's destructive, who's gonna do anything against the people that's taking care of them. That's where transitional comes in, and to weed them out into the time where they can go to permanent supportive housing. So I don't believe in this housing shortage. That's just me. Because if we did a process correctly, There's enough for everybody to cycle through and then go to where they need to go. A lot of them are more comfortable in shared living spaces because they're not out there by themselves. So you'd be surprised once you talk to people, they enjoy the camaraderie. So I would like to say, Salonika, would you like to tell us what you and Benny are working on really quick, and then I'll have Matthew speak of their transitional homes, which some are in this area in our footprint, wherever Roger is. Roger, we have resources right here in the community, and that's what Matthew is going to talk about. In addition to whatever else he feels compelled to talk about. So, Salonika.
Yeah, so we're working as, again, we have more than 400 members. They're all state licensed owners and operators of adult residential care facilities or the residential care facilities for the elderly. And we've been working to try to play that role in serving residents who are low income and have been diagnosed with a serious mental illness. And so our facilities are represented by small business owners, by nonprofits, and some also include some of the larger facilities. But essentially, they provide quality whole person care, medication management, and other recreational activities for their residents. And so if LASA has gone out and has served 50 or 100 people, then because we know of statistics that so many of our unhoused are living with the serious mental illness or haven't been maybe fully diagnosed but should be, and many of them are also dealing with the intersectionality of substance use. So it's really important to make sure that we do as much triage, support, evaluation when we are serving our unhoused at the initial start. And then that way we know where they should be placed based on their individual needs. And so that comes from having supportive outreach teams that are able to accommodate and be accessible and also handle the loads that they have in terms of casework, but also giving them the enough support. And so we're not a HOPIX or PATH or any of those agencies, because those are agencies that are dealing more with helping people to be placed. But we are definitely there for if those are people who are being placed in permanent housing, but also have a serious mental illness, but also don't need to have full on, respite care, or they're not to where they're completely in need of more, severe assisted living, but they can enjoy that residential style environment and have their medication there 3 meals a day and also other activities. And so that's what we want to just make sure people know. And our website is larcala.org. That's the role we play. And of course, we are partnered with many community agencies, and we're definitely trying to increase that so that we can play that greater role as the need for helping those who are unhoused and dealing with possible substance use issues on top of it, as well as mental illness. We also have a bill before the state legislature. We're grateful for Assemblymember Rick Chavez Saber, and he has authored Assembly Bill 2650, which is a data collecting bill. It will allow for the Community Care Licensing Division, which is the state agency that license all adult residential care facilities and residential care facilities, which are different from transitional homes. So definitely want to make sure that that's distinct. We're not transitional homes. But the CCLD, Community Care Licensing Division, would be collecting more specific data on the exact number of Californians who are relying on Social Security as their income and are living with a serious mental illness in a state licensed facility right now. And the reason it's important to collect this data is to be able to better target funding that has been allocated by the state via the federal government, or the state itself. But when funding is allocated to the county governments and just straight from the state, they need to be able to have a better idea and a better understanding of exactly how many people are at the very vulnerable bottom when it comes to SSI recipient or public benefits, living with a serious mental illness, and currently living in one of the state licensed facilities, and the need to target more funding to better support that care industry, because more and more people are going to need adult care facilities. As we know, the aging population is going to require that. So that's our role.
Okay, so
And
that's
what we're
Senate,
working on.
Senate bill, that's a Senate bill?
No, Assembly Bill 2650,
Okay, it's Assembly.
data collection bill by Assembly Member Rick Chavez Zabur.
Okay, zipper. ZIBER?
ZBUR.
ZBUR.
Yeah,
Okay.
Z is in zebra, B is in boy,
Right.
UR.
Right, I have it. Oh, thank you. So that you're working on that currently.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, keep me posted on that. And next we will have Matthew Devon. I know it says Melinda Devon, but that's his mom, and he's gonna talk to us about what he knows about the agency. He is the associate CEO. He's the associate administrator of Westminster Transitional Living. Okay, Matthew, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Ms. Torrey. Yes, I'm Matthew Devon. I like to say I was born in this industry. My father and my mother bought their first piece of property when I was 5 years old. They started their sober living / transitional living. So we are private family owned business, nonprofit. We now have 5 locations. We deal with them all. I heard a lot of other people say other ways that they deal with other clients, but we deal with them all. We have bipolar, schizophrenic, people that are senior citizens that can't afford senior homes, people on parole. I mean, we're really hands-on. We deal with them all. We only take the ones that will be a good fit for our facility, but we deal with them all. We're a nonprofit. We want to get more known. Ms. Torrey has been doing a wonderful job getting us out there, telling us about different platforms that we can get more familiar with. But yeah, we're a family-owned nonprofit business. We're located, we have 2 locations, 3910 West 28th Street off Crenshaw and Adams. There are 2 houses right next door from each other. And then we are also located in the church, 2300 Griffith Avenue, and we just purchased a property across the street. We're trying to get affordable housing going on there. So permanent housing for people that are coming from our facilities. So we're trying to work with the city, and we're trying to find grants, and we're trying to get into the affordable housing department now as we speak. So we're really working, we're hands-on, and we have a beautiful staff. We're working with doctors and psychiatrists. We're making sure that these clients are on their medication. And yeah, we're doing the Lord's work. We really want to get known. We're trying to get to Karen Bass to see if she can come interview us, because we're really hands-on. We don't really you don't really hear about a lot of people that are hands-on and take anybody. So that's what we are. We're Westminster Baptist Church. And my mom was supposed to be on this FaceTime, but Ms. Torrey told me to step in. So here I am.
Roger has his hand up, Matthew.
Yes, thank you.
Roger.
Hey, Matthew, nice to meet you. Connect with me. Reach out to me, please. I want to also meet with you, and let's see what we can do. Again, I'm not allowed to promise anything past November, but let's get you started. Let's get you connected. Let's see what we can do.
Yeah.
Get you there.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the houses in our district, Roger, are full, right? But you can always, I guess, have a waiting list. So maybe one day he can meet you over at the site.
The more resources, the better. Even if it's full, at least we know about them. So
okay.
Yeah, Matthew, looking forward to talking with you more in depth, man, and see what we can do to get you connected in the right places.
Yes, looking forward as well. Yes.
So,
thank you.
All right. I gotta run to my next meeting, guy. So have a good night, everybody. You know where to reach me.
Okay, Roger. I have Pastor Rodney. Dr. Rodney is hopping on right now. He just phoned me, finishing clients for the day. So at some point, you need to connect with him too. If
That's
you
fine.
ever need a psychiatrist, he's been for years, but he'll let you know about that. But right now, are there any questions for Matthew?
And we're gonna say bye to Roger.
Bye, Roger, if you have to pop off, but any more
night.
questions? Matthew, yeah, one day he can go over there. He'll get over there, because that is his area.
Yeah, I have a question for Matthew.
Matthew, question from Dr. Gloria.
Okay, who do you house? What's your population at different locations?
So we have two houses.
Uh-huh.
We have two houses. Of Crenshaw and Adams, I believe our limit is 60 people. And then we also have a church right now. I'm inside the church, and we could take up to 58 people. And so we have some room available. We're a big building here. It's upstairs. Downstairs.
You mean what type? Yeah, they have. Yeah,
What is it?
they have men, women.
Oh, we're co-ed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
we're
co-ed. Sober living. What? Tell her all the type of clients or patients that you have. Patients. I'm so used to saying patients. Clients or participants.
Yeah, so they differ, and we take them all. Like I said, we're co-ed, men and ladies. We're not, of course, not co-ed when it comes to the same room. We have ladies' rooms upstairs, and we have also men rooms upstairs as well. But we have a downstairs men's dorm. My father started our nonprofit, and he catered to of course the men, and then my mom stepped in, and she catered towards the ladies. So 3910 West 28th Street. There's two homes right next door from each other. There's the right side, the other facility house is all women, all ladies, and then here at Westminster Baptist Church, we have an upstairs, downstairs, and upstairs we cater to the ladies. Majority of ladies are upstairs, and then we have 24-hour staff. We take anybody. Majority of our clients are on SSI or GR, or we have a couple cases where we have families paying out of pocket $700 a month. That's our going fee. So yeah, we take any and anybody.
Yeah, they don't discriminate at all. They have bipolar, schizophrenic, sober, not sober, CANA, what's the other one? CANA and AA.
Yes.
So, yeah, they have mandatory meetings for all of those on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah.
So there's no barrier. If you're homeless and you can meet that criteria, they will take you.
Yes.
Okay, so
So you know I have a question.
okay, Laura has a question, Matthew.
And it may be for Salonika as well, but mostly, and Tori, you know that I had this situation. I had a month ago, we suddenly had a situation where we had a person suddenly in an apartment that she didn't belong in. And we were desperately trying to find a placement, but she's well outside the system. And the person is diagnosed schizophrenic, DID, and also is a trans woman, and also has a little dog who is her emotional support animal. And when we tried to get mental health, and she was threatening to commit suicide, and she was also in this apartment complex that she was not a tenant in, but was staying, was also, I'm gonna say disturbing the peace, but it was more than that. I mean, she was essentially doing devil worship, and your own spiritual beliefs aside, she was essentially putting curses on other people's apartments, and some of them believed in it. And it was becoming a very difficult situation, and we couldn't find anyone even in the mental health system to say, yeah, she needs a 72-hour watch, because we didn't want her to commit suicide, obviously. I I don't know the whole situation. She ultimately left, but she left her medicines behind, and took the family car, and she's living in a car, so this is not a permanent solution.
Right.
But it was like our quick encounter with the system kind of explained to me there's no real system.
Right. Well,
I mean, for us to get, I mean, my nieces tried really hard. They were working full time for 2 weeks, making calls all over the place just to see what can we do. And yeah.
well, yeah, you can't
There's
navigate.
a lot
That's why we step in. Go ahead, Matthew.
Yeah, so when it comes to a lot of other facilities, there are a lot of guidelines to where they accept certain people. And where it comes to Westminster Baptist Church, we accept anybody. This is what our faith comes into hand. We're here to help anybody, any homeless person, any bipolar schizophrenic person. We are here to help. So we fit any criteria. That's what makes us special. We've had people here under that believe in devil worship, worshiping, and we are a Christian church, so we have Bible study every Wednesday, and we just lay hands on people, and we do the Lord's work as the best as we can, and we also try our best to keep them medicated if they are on medication. So I mean, we
had called you, or for that matter, we still could call you. Can we make a placement? I mean, is it that simple, or is it really not that simple?
It is that simple.
Very simple. It's just a phone call away to my mom, Miss Belinda, or Pastor Nate. It's really just a phone call away, and their funds being available.
Salonika?
Is that, I'm sorry?
Oh, did you say, it looked like you were about to say something.
Oh, no.
I haven't. So would that be a patient that falls in your criteria under mental illness, Salonika?
In this situation, if she's been diagnosed, I assume, right, with a serious mental illness.
Two diagnoses, both very serious, obviously. Meaning DID is, I don't remember what it stands for, but we know it, lay people know it as multiple personality.
Okay, yeah, I think it depends if she is stable, and we too take everyone. It just depends on what facility or what residence would be the best placement. What is her income?
We believe she has SSI.
Okay.
We believe, I mean, that's belief. I don't know it. I mean, again, this was somebody who, it's complicated, but she landed in her mother's apartment after her mother died.
Yeah, I think two things. We would definitely try to see if one of our facilities could accommodate her. But the thing too is I know that many of our members are apprehensive if violence is involved, or there is some like a potential element of volatility to where that could disturb the current home. So it would all really, really depend, but we would too, just as Matthew stated, be open to try to help and see if there's placement among the members.
So what was our frustration? I think a lot of people's frustration was we didn't even know, was there a number to call?
Right.
I mean, that's kind of was like, well, now what do we do? Because we were calling phone numbers of places that couldn't or wouldn't help, in part because of the Hippocratic Oath, meaning they couldn't talk about.
You mean the HIPAA law?
HIPAA laws, but yeah, they couldn't talk about the diagnosis. They couldn't even. I don't want to get into too much detail. Couldn't even say whether or not she had ever visited them. I'm saying that right.
Well, what I do know is that a lot of people hide behind the HIPAA law. I read that law backwards and forwards when I was in the industry. And that's something that I've noticed that people say, oh, we can't do that because of HIPAA. But see, but knowing the details of it all, I said, yes, you can. If she is not that person's patient, then you can have the discussion about the diagnosis, but I'm sure Dr. Rodney will elaborate on that from a psychiatric standpoint.
Right, and I don't want to take too much time here, but it was also, again, the frustration of calling the correct phone number for the mental health teams
And then learning two things. One, they do work all night long, but they're not really eager to go at 3:30 or 4 in the morning.
Right, and they
As
don't.
it turns out,
That,
they're
yeah,
perfectly fine to call me and wake me back up and say,
Right.
hey. But number two,
that's PMRT.
but number two was, in this case, but probably commonly, in the moment that they did finally go, she presented as, you
It's
know,
normal.
not normal, but stable.
Always.
Yeah.
Stable, fine. Why are you, you know, you don't
Right,
text me,
and they,
no.
and they didn't take them. I've had
That's
that
one of the
encounter a few
challenges.
times, and right now, a number that they are trying to promote through the Department of Mental Health is 988.
It doesn't work.
I know, but it's
We
988,
had the precinct.
and they do it as a suicide hotline, so to speak, so the person can speak to them. But that's neither here nor there. I do meet at the Department of Mental Health, and we try to enhance these systems so that they do become relevant to the person at the moment that they're having their
Well,
crisis.
And 6 hours later, when they have time to go.
Well, that's
Yes.
PMRT. 988 doesn't go anywhere. PMRT does.
Yeah, I'm
So,
just saying.
with no
Okay.
further ado, we're gonna have Dr. You
Right.
have a
I have
question?
a question for,
Go ahead, go ahead.
Was it Matthew?
Matthew?
Let's say you have somebody who says they're an atheist. Is it mandatory that the atheists attend the Bible studies?
It is not
That's a
mandatory.
good one.
But we have our AA meetings. So our AA meetings are mandatory. There's the only thing that here at our facilities that are mandatory are AA meetings, because that is the heart of our program, is to get people off drugs and alcohol. So we have mandatory meetings every Tuesdays and Thursdays from 7 to 8, and we have speakers that come and share their testimony how they overcame drugs and alcohol. So that is the only mandatory thing we have here at Westminster. But atheists or not, they have to attend our meeting. But if they're atheists, I mean, we'll try our best to let the Lord talk to them and show them the right way. But no, we're not forcing Christianity on anybody.
Thank you.
Okay, well, that was an interesting little segue.
Sorry.
Dr. Rodney Collins has joined us, and we would like to give him a hand welcome. And Dr. Rodney, tell us about your practice and your patient load or what have you. And with no further ado, Dr. Rodney Collins.
Hi. Good evening, everybody. I was running a little late today. I'm sorry that I missed a little bit of it, but anyway, I am a just a general adult psychiatrist who practices in Beverly Hills, but don't let the Beverly Hills fool you, because we see just about anything in my practice. We see people that have Medicare and Medi-Cal. We see people that have private insurances. We see people and make arrangements on a sliding scale for people with private pay. The one thing that we don't see in my clinic is like that community-based patient who is uninsured. So most of those people have to go through the county mental health facilities in the Department of Mental Health. And, I would just say in general, since COVID especially, which kind of accentuated, the mental health needs and crises all over probably the nation and maybe the world, there's just been increasing needs for people that have, are decompensated in mental crisis. As the lady was explaining here, they're disruptive to environments. They often are not even in a position to want to accept treatment that the doctors may seem to feel that they need, unless they get them in a hospital, and that's where you have to work with those PMRT teams.
Right.
To get them hospitalized, so then you can maybe force medication through injections onto the patient so that they can maybe get a little bit more stable. But I think that there are places to take people that are willing to go be seen. It's not always a real easy or fluid process, but places like West Central Mental Health, the county mental health facilities, they're all over the city. Are other avenues where the uninsured people can go to get services. But homelessness in and of itself creates a whole mental health crisis just by virtue of the fact that you're homeless. You can't use the bathroom when you want to. You can't, you're in fear of being attacked, or, you're hungry. The numbers of people that are having mental health crisis related to homelessness, it starts with getting them inside. I think Karen Bass has something going on with that
Safe.
safe inside thing, but they also at the very same time need to treat the people so that they'll stay inside,
Yes.
because a lot of the people prefer being outside.
Yes.
That
You know,
they don't really understand the comforts of being inside or why being inside would be useful. And that takes a lot of case management and therapy and medication. There's so many needs that those people need.
I don't know who that is of that number.
tell them we're new.
Pardon me?
There's a telephone number that's unidentifiable, but it keeps flashing on and off with sound. So Laura's gonna mute everyone except for you.
Well, I don't want, if I mute the phone,
Just ask them to mute.
Yeah, well, they're
I
obviously not
actually can't.
listening.
I did it.
Okay, thank you. Sorry,
Okay.
Dr. Rodney.
That's okay.
Okay, go ahead, Laura.
No, I just muted the
Okay,
phone. I
okay,
don't
go
have-
ahead.
I don't have a go ahead to go ahead.
No. I mean, Rodney.
Yeah, well, that was about it, just in terms of introducing myself. And, being a general adult psychiatrist, I treat psychiatric illness across the board, from anything as minor as, a generalized anxiety disorder to some of the more major, like schizophrenic or schizoaffective bipolar disorders, delusional and psychotic disorders. It's a lot of that out there.
It is. So you saw
Yeah.
more.
And it's mixed in comorbidly with, alcohol and drug use.
Right, right. So you saw an uptake in your patient load after COVID.
Oh, yes. Yeah, for sure.
So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 agencies represented here on the call. It may be more than that I know of, but there's I guess this is on YouTube as of next week. Okay.
Yeah, it's streaming live now.
Well, we're streaming live now, Dr. Rodney.
Right, and
So-
then it will be somewhere on the UNNC website. I don't know.
Okay.
It's there. It's already there.
Okay. Well, there will be times, I'm sure, that they will post your number on their refrigerator.
Okay.
Somewhere. So do you have are you taking new patients?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a limited amount of resources for one person, but I do
Right.
work with psychiatric nurse practitioners and other master's level therapy people that can provide some therapy
Okay.
to people if they're insured. They have to at least have Medicare.
Medicare or Medi-Cal, right? Medi or either one.
Medi or Medicare.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We do
Okay.
not accept Medi-Cal in my office.
Oh, on its
I would
own.
be happy to work with people to try to get them to resources for help.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even if they got a call, even if they called us.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's good to know. So yeah, if you come across, I know in the association, there's other doctors that will accept Medi-Cal or whatever else they may have, but other than that, you accept everything else. So just want to make sure that there's some resources beyond the facilities, especially once PMRT doesn't get a chance or decides that the patient doesn't need to be seen sight unseen, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, they don't meet the criteria.
Right. I've had some occasions and interactions with them that they did come take our clients, and they came back better, And then we had a couple that relapsed back, but did well for a long time. But there's a couple of occasions though that they didn't come at all for whatever reason. And when I took that concern to the Department of Mental Health in our community sessions, they was like, "Oh no, we come out." I said, "Okay." So I'm gonna start taking note of date, time, but when they don't come out when they're called. So, and they said, okay, so a lot of the people that are in charge of that system, the 988 system, the PMRT system, sometimes they're in the meeting. So they hear firsthand from community what is and what is not occurring. So that's something we all have to work on being better, because if they are going to be the emergency response team, they need to respond.
Right.
So, right.
Yeah,
So,
that's a really big problem, that people have crisis going on at a home or at a facility, and the response team won't get there for like 7 or 8 hours.
exactly.
Oh, yeah, I know about that.
And by then the
Exactly.
person's gone or quiet
Calm
down.
down.
Yeah.
Or cause damage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we have to work on that. So do you ever have to do that in your office? Do you ever have to call?
Yeah. But usually in my office, I would call more like 911. I would just get the police involved, because I'm already the observer, the licensed observer of behavior that needs an intervention.
Right.
So, sometimes if a lot of people are a little hesitant to call 911 or make it more of an emergency, because for fear that something could go wrong. But,
Right.
Yeah.
The police have a pretty good track record of kind of treating mental health with special.
Uh-oh.
Why?
Because it's probably 8:00. It's
No.
8:02.
Hang on, you
That's
guys.
okay.
I'm gonna start it up.
Laura Tech is on the job. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm just saying that sometimes you have to utilize a more urgent intervention than the PMRT.
Right. That is true. That is so true. I hesitate sometimes to call the police. Had a situation the other day that sometimes you need to be culturally aware as well. One of the girls called on one of the other girls who by no means meant what she said, but when the police came out, whatever she called in as, it wasn't as suicide, right? So when the police got there, they questioned the girl about everything but suicide, right? So she came down in front of me, and it was very clear that the police didn't address the suicide attempt that was supposedly called in as. And so I said, well, something's not right with this picture. And so come find out the staff had called in and said it was some type of disturbance. And that's what the police came to talk about, and not the suicide attempt she told me she called on her about. So I was like, oh my goodness. So that's why I was wondering why they showed up without the Met team, without any backup or suicide watch or anything. I was like, this is not correct. So we got to be aware of how we call in as well. Of
Right.
how, so it could be very detrimental to who all's involved. Yeah. So, question? You have a question?
Yeah, I have a
Dr.
question.
Gloria has a question. Dr. Rodney.
Yes, my question relates to agoraphobia. I have a client in our transitional house who says she self-diagnosed herself with agoraphobia, and she does have the symptoms. And so I wondered how we would address something like that in our setting, wherein she's got to live with all these other people.
Right. Well, agoraphobia is a pretty severe mental illness that usually requires medication to help that person to get better and get over their fear of being around other people, or the anxiety that's associated with leaving their room or their apartment or their house. So first you have to see if people are willing to be assessed, by a psychiatrist, and are they willing to take medication to try to help the condition, once diagnosed, to be better. A lot of times there's a lot of resistance, particularly in the brown and black communities, to medication. And there's a lot of reasons for that. But, there's certain conditions that we know need medication. And they're probably not going to get better without a pretty aggressive psychopharmacologic intervention, as well as therapy and all that other stuff. So, I mean, those people need to be assessed by psychiatrists, psychologists, and then encouraged to at least give medication a try.
Right.
Okay.
And now, the interviews can come to you. So you don't really, before COVID, we had you had to bring people into offices
That's good.
that couldn't leave. But now, with telehealth, you can bring the mountain to Mohammed.
Right.
So to speak.
Right.
Yeah.
So, would you like to share your information? So Dr. Gloria or Matthew or Salonika or anybody could reach out to you in case of
Okay.
emergencies.
Yeah. So, I have a website, and it's newvisionsmedicalgroup.com. That's NEWVISIONS medicalgroup.com. Through that website, you can access my office staff, and you can see what kind of services that we provide.
She could set up a telemedicine with that as well, or they have to
Yeah.
have the intake and all that first.
No, that could be set up.
Okay.
And the direct number for the office is 310-360-7690.
Okay.
And our services, again, are for people that have Medicare, Medi, or better. They've got it, or private insurance. Yeah.
Right. Blue Cross,
That are
et
not.
cetera, et cetera.
Right.
Okay. Well, that sounds good. So if they can reach out through the website, and then whatever they need to do to follow instructions to get to a telehealth interview, and then I guess your staff will take it from there and explain to them what they need to do.
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
But if they have Medi-Cal,
Solely.
they can't contact telehealth.
They
Is that
can't, well,
correct?
it's not telehealth you're contacting.
You contact the doctor's office first.
You'd have to find a different doctor.
Oh, I
Right,
see,
right.
I see.
Yeah,
So
Medi-Cal
doctor
only,
first.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So anything, Medi, Blue Shield, Blue Cross, any
There,
of them,
there are avenues for patients with Medi-Cal
yes.
have telehealth appointments, but it would be through different agencies other than mine.
Okay,
It would be at places like West Central Mental Health or Compton Mental Health or
okay, West Central Mental Health or Compton Mental Health?
Yeah, but I would think if you have Medi-Cal, there's some way to look up providers
Well, I'm sure,
through
but
Medi-Cal.
yeah, I'm sure.
Thank
Okay, well, thank you all.
Okay.
The meeting's about to come to an end soon, but I wanted to look at the round robin discussion, because we have some discussions that we talked about earlier with the SB 9 it was. And, are you familiar with any of those? Donna, Salonika?
I'm not.
Okay. Donna, did you want to share anything about the SB 9 that we were speaking of earlier?
Just something that has come up very suddenly, and it certainly impacts a lot of, well, cities in the state. So I follow a group of electeds that have been dealing with the state on that particular proposition. And it's definitely driven by people who are attempting to give the area of people who are trying to build housing, saying it's for low income, often is not. So it is wonderful that this has been interrupted. Of course, there are going to be appeals, but we are so excited because it's a big change. A big change for a lot of negative things that were happening and in cities all across the state.
Right.
And our communities.
Right.
Right, that's for sure.
There's another case that was just brought to my attention. So what's happening on the state level is there's a lot of housing laws being passed
Yes.
that are being supported by organizations like Abundant Housing and others who are promoting the idea that if you simply build more housing, then that will trickle down to create more affordable housing. But the very little of the legislation is actually about building affordable housing,
Right.
Right.
which would go somewhat far to help the homeless crisis, but not completely, because as we've discussed tonight, it wouldn't help the mental health issues, for example. But another case, and I don't have the case number, but this is an appellate decision and it's final. So there was a final appellate decision finalized within the last month or so, where a Los Angeles developer sued the city, saying that under the Housing Crisis Act that the state had passed, that the city had to say yes to any zone changes or to any project, whether or not it was consistent with the zone, just so long as it was creating housing. And in this case, again, the judge said no. The city doesn't have to say yes to just anything. That the city has a right to apply objective zoning standards.
Right.
And the case was appealed, and the appellate court ruled the same as the original judge, that the cities have the right to apply objective zoning standards. And what happened in the last several weeks or month is that the California Supreme Court decided not to hear the case. So the appellate decision is final.
Wonderful.
So that's another good thing. For those of us who would like to have some degree of control over our communities, and again, this was not a proposal that related to affordable housing at all.
At all, right.
So the decision may or may not have been different if it was an affordable project.
Right.
What they build is never affordable. It's always market value when you get to the end run. It's maybe a couple of affordable housing units in a building of 25. You might get 3, maybe, and then they'll have to come in the back door.
Well, yeah, that's because they only allocated 10% of 11%
Yeah.
of any development that was put in the communities locally. So, but who is holding them accountable for that? We don't know. And that's not in the controller's report. So one thing, there's a lot of things going on lately. I mean, like the $24 billion unaccountable funds that the audit that the city just had, 24 billion. So it's a fallout, which is causing LASA to cut their budget by $65 million. When our numbers, I mean, okay, we have 500 house here in this seat, in this council district, right?
500 people.
500
Well,
people.
And here's what Roger is saying is 500 people were taken off the street.
Right.
And put into housing.
Right.
But we've built a great deal more housing units than 500.
I agree. However, out of those 500 buildings you may have built, only 10 to 11% is allocated for affordable housing. And what constitutes affordable is debatable.
Well, and also the numbers, you know, when we say Gramercy Housing came online 2 years ago.
Okay.
Where we were.
Where we
visiting
met, yeah,
Gramercy
right,
Apartments.
right.
They house 64 people who were formerly homeless.
How many?
Probably 60. I don't know.
Okay, approximately.
62 units, but there could be husbands and wives.
Okay.
There could be spousal.
Okay.
So 62 units, there's 64 units, but 2 of them are management units.
Right.
So 62 units, somewhat more than 62 people who were formerly homeless. They weren't necessarily Council District 10 residents.
That's right.
Because again, the numbers, you know, so we can only count the numbers that we can count.
Right.
So what we can count here in United Neighborhoods Neighborhood Council is how many units have we had to weigh in on,
Right.
over
Right.
the last 10 years. And we've done that count. It's in excess of 2,000. We're maybe edging towards 2,500 at this point. And how many of those are actually built? Well, the big one that's Metro is not built, obviously.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They just got awarded their funding 2 weeks ago.
Right.
But they did get awarded their funding.
Right.
The small one, the 22 units at 1808 St. Andrews, is permanent supportive housing, is not yet built because they just got awarded their funding 3 weeks ago. And
Right.
they've been working on this for 3 years or more.
Right. Well, I was contacted from Metro they did call, so they're doing their due diligence
Right.
to house those who are their constant riders on the transportation all night
Right.
that will
But
ride
that's
until the
still
end of the line.
that's gonna be a small proportion.
Right.
Small proportion of the project at, we're talking about a project at Obama and Crenshaw. Well, between the Expo line and Obama.
Right.
It's gonna have 400 some units. But,
Oh, yeah, I saw
but
that.
it's gonna be 100% affordable. However, a good chunk of that affordable housing is really what I would call workforce. It's gonna
Oh,
be
okay.
moderate and,
That's good.
80% of AMI, which is area median
Median,
income.
right.
So those are gonna be people who may earn more money than I earn.
Okay.
But-
So that's a workforce
But then
development.
20% of the total will be much lower income.
Okay.
So, but they ended up getting funded for the 100%, which
Right.
was a big question mark.
Right.
So, and I was gonna say, the one other thing we learned on the funding side of these affordable projects is that after 20%, it has to be 100%. There is no program in place to fund new construction where it's, say, 40% affordable. There's zero funding programs for
Right.
that, to build that. No
Right.
tax credit programs. I mean, it's very complicated.
Right.
The funding side of this is very complicated. but it was either 20 or 100.
100. So for those of you who don't know, Laura's very involved in planning and zoning.
Yeah.
And then she's not missed too many planning and zoning meetings, so we make sure she's
Like
very
in the last
involved.
22 years.
Yeah, the last 22 years,
Yeah,
so she's
yeah.
very involved with that. I see a hand up. Or is that a thumbs
That's a
up?
thumbs.
That's a thumbs
That's a
up.
thumbs up. But
Yeah.
in any case, what we're not seeing with all these state laws is very much traction on of actual affordable housing.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not helping.
Right.
All of the state laws being passed in Sacramento
It's
just
helping
seem
the
to
developers. It's helping the developers.
helping the development
Yeah.
community.
Yeah.
And, you know, and some of the issues, obviously, the higher interest rates and the, you know, tightening of credit. So a lot of the projects that we've looked at may never get built.
yeah, okay.
But there's
Well,
a big lag time between approval
oh yeah,
and
That-
funding, and
actually,
then construction,
Right.
and then putting people into the building.
well, that is true. We met with a developer a couple of weeks ago, and they are expediting some of the gaps between permit and actually putting the shovel in the ground. So
They
it
still need funding.
yeah, you still got, yeah, the funding has been, they found quite a few funding streams. It's not coming from one source,
No, never.
but they're making progress, because I think he has like 5 projects in the midst right now, and that's simultaneously. So
Is this a private
that,
developer?
yeah, the SB9 is gonna probably have some effect on that.
Probably not.
Probably not, you don't think so?
No, SB9, the whole idea on SB9 was you own a single-family home.
Okay,
Or a lot that's zoned for a single-family home, and you build 4 homes
on that lot,
on that. Well, you make it into 4 lots,
Right.
make it into 4
into 4
single-family.
parcels,
But
okay.
not 4 multifamily, it
Right.
has to be single-family.
Single family homes,
So that's
okay.
SB9.
So that affects the
That's just-
ADUs, like the ADUs or, yeah,
Yeah, not so much. I
Really?
mean, in other words, the issue with the SB9 from if you're a person who lives in a solidly R1 zone, single
Right.
family, is
Okay.
that other state law
okay,
allows you, if you build a single family home, you can also build an an ADU,
ADU.
maybe even 2 ADUs.
right.
So those single family lots could have been 8 units.
Ah,
One regular home, and, I mean,
okay.
it's,
So they still have options,
well, they don't if the law's tossed out.
right? Yeah, it depends on what happens with the
If there's
law.
no SB9,
Okay,
yeah.
well, we'll see what happens. Any other topics of round robin discussion? We had talked about, earlier, was one I was interested in. Jamar, you have any, concerns with housing? What's going on with housing and, what do you call it, prevention? If we could do some prevention, more, we could probably, minimize or some of this homelessness.
Right.
They have to simultaneously work on both.
Right.
I
Well,
mean-
you brought up a family that you met.
Which one? Yeah.
No, you brought up tonight a family where the apartment had a fire.
Oh, yeah.
Right, so on Nextdoor, there was a different family posting that they had lost their apartment. The upstairs apartment had caught on fire, but
Oh,
the water
damage.
damage,
Yeah.
I mean, it just damaged everything. And the landlord is basically saying, well, do you have insurance? That's on you. But
Oh,
that's
no.
a true, but that's a true thing.
That is.
That's a totally true thing, and I don't know if renters realize that landlord insurance does not cover renters' belongings. You need to have renters insurance.
Yeah.
And if you're really one paycheck away from not having a home, you should try to find a way to pay the $15 a month for renters insurance, or
Right.
whatever it is.
Right.
Because this family is, in trouble.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
landlord may have said it in a mean way, but
Right.
it's also a truthful statement.
Well, that is something. Now that's
Yeah, I
We
don't know
need
how
more
one
than
shares
that.
that word,
yeah.
but
what's those, the wet vet companies that come when there's floods and damage to your home? A lot of times they can catch it if they get there soon enough, so things don't mildew and mold and
But you
etc.
needed insurance
Yeah.
to pay for them to come.
Well, yeah, but sometimes people have excess
Yeah.
funds to pay for something like
Sure.
that. And that's something people don't think about in advance, to have them on speed dial. Because I had that happen in one of the hospitals I was at, and we made sure that all medical records and all paper documents were safe. And that's one of the backup plans that you have to have when it comes to audits, things like that. So I can see you having to have your own insurance to cover things like that, but a lot of people do not think about that in advance.
Right.
Yeah, so, but
And I will say the standard, nobody reads the fine print, but the standard
insurance,
the standard rental agreements
Right.
that the apartment association and everybody else says,
Right.
hey, landlords, use this.
right,
It's like fine print item number 23 or something like that.
right,
You must have renter insurance, but my experience is most of the renters don't get it,
right,
even though it's in their lease.
right,
But
right.
they are required to have it.
Wow.
Well, because it's like, people don't think about it.
No.
You can get it at Ralph's.
Ralph's.
The grocery store, yeah.
What?
The checkout line, yeah, they sell it.
They sell what?
Renter's insurance.
Did you guys know that?
I didn't know that.
They sell renters insurance at Ralph's
at
grocery store?
And, yeah, and look carefully as you're checking out.
Are you serious?
Wow.
I am serious.
Okay.
In the store.
But
Did you
but
have
I'm not
something
a
to say
renter.
about that, Dr. Rodney?
No, I didn't know. I'm shocked like everybody else. Yeah.
Yeah,
So how does that work, Laura?
don't know. I'm not a renter. I don't know.
Well, that is my responsibility to find that out between now and the next month meeting 30 days from
I mean,
now.
Donna, do your tenants tend to have renter's insurance? Do you know even? Is Donna?
Donna, does your tenants have renters insurance?
Is she with us?
She's in and out.
I know.
Her phone was
Yeah,
going.
some do.
Okay.
Right, but
Only
do you
some.
tell them? Do you tell them when they move in that they need to get it?
Yes.
Oh,
And we
okay.
do too.
Okay.
But there's
Yeah.
no we don't.
A lot of.
require it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
When
We learn, David and I learned that someone doesn't have it if something has happened.
Of course. When a catastrophe occurs.
And then they say, can you replace my computer? It's like,
No.
well, our insurance doesn't cover it.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. There's a lot of things going on that people need help with. We can just close 2 gaps
Well,
a
I think
year.
some people are on the edge of homelessness
Right.
because they're living paycheck to paycheck.
That's true.
Other people are on the edge of homelessness for other reasons.
Well, we do know the last 10 years when I've been a coordinator for these counts, that the numbers of homelessness has not fluctuated in the manner in which this money is
Yeah.
revolving around our
Exactly.
city. So we need to come up. I can see if the numbers were cut at least 50% at some point at any given time, or gradually going down at least 10% per year. But we seem to be steady at the same amount. And so what does that tell you? That tells you that prevention needs to be focused on as much as
Right.
the end result of
Well, and
homelessness.
then the other thing is of course what I don't know, you don't know, because there's no way at the homeless count to know this. Are they the same 50,000 people?
No, I doubt that. That's what I'm saying. I'm sure they're
No.
rotating. They're rotating.
Right.
Yeah.
But as I'm saying, they're rotating out of their housing into the street just as fast as they're being housed.
Right.
So that's something to really look into. And
Right.
and so we gotta do better.
My concern is those people who are unplaceable, who are homeless because of drug, alcohol, and mental health. What are we talking about? A large amount of people. And regardless to whether there are spaces, there are only few spaces that are willing to take or handle or not afraid of, as we've heard tonight, dealing with mental health issues that involve drugs, alcohol, and physical violence. And it's a lot of that
Yes.
dealing with. So,
And keeping their dogs.
and their
Right.
elephant, that elephant is in the room and nobody's looking at it.
Right. Right. Well,
Okay.
any comments? Salonika, I appreciate you for staying on in the midst of your project with LASA. And hopefully you're making progress. Is there anything you wanted to share about that project at all?
No, not that I've already shared in terms of the work that we're ongoing to expand and try to
Partner
increase
up.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
But I just also,
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
you're right, Tori, when you mentioned the fact that it needs to be both the way to address the crisis of mental of homelessness, as well as when it's intersectional with mental illness and or substance use. We really have to have more whole person, publicly funded care. We need people to be able to be paid a decent living wage for the work that is being tasked upon them, which is to extend themselves to be as compassionate and also as cautious, but also as consistent and persistent, because some people refuse help the first, second, third, fourth, fifth time. And then
Right.
some people will come around, and we need to have well-established institutions and not just rely on the community and the faith community or the business community to handle something that is a statewide crisis.
Right.
And
That's
I think, there is a such thing as a real affordable rate. That's not a debatable or complicated issue. It's called a human rate and not a market rate. And a human rate says that no one pays more than a third of their monthly income after taxes on housing. That's the index that we use as a quality of life measurement. So you
Right.
take your 33% of your net income monthly, and if you're paying more than that for rent, there is going to be a challenge that you as a person will have, increasing your anxiety, increasing your depression, increasing that month to month issue of you being able to struggle. So until we can allow for get our public officials to not allow for 5% of properties or developments to be allocated to quote unquote affordable housing, we need to stick back to that quality of life index that keeps it at 33% and have income-based affordable housing.
That's right. I appreciate that statement. Yes.
Also, with the affordable housing that they talk about, I have a problem with that because most of the times they are not affordable to the people that I know.
Right.
Well,
And it's not affordable, and even with the few units that is set aside, they're still
Right.
not affordable. And so I'm just looking at this and I'm saying the people that we serve, I'm in spot 6, the
Right.
people that we serve, they cannot afford these units. So I don't know why we keep talking about building affordable units when many times they don't even know how to take care of one little room. So let's work with them in the transitional housing. And then when we do find a place to put them, let it be a place, a unit or someplace where they can actually feel comfortable in it and not feel squeezed into some little cubicle,
right.
some little box somewhere where
Right.
they're having to pay so much money to try to live in it. So
Yeah.
I've got a problem with this whole affordable thing. Building something new for people who had nothing, that doesn't even make sense.
Well, that does make you wonder. However,
Let's be honest, they're not building for them.
Well, granted, I understand, but that's what it said.
And I know you heard the phrase trickle down a couple of decades ago, and we know it didn't work.
right,
So,
right.
okay.
So
But
we,
now we're talking politics.
Yeah,
And I think on
well,
that note, we probably.
it's almost time to adjourn, and I thank each and every one of you for attending this evening, and you will be able to go back and revisit this on YouTube and other platforms. Of course, it's streaming live now as we speak, and I just want to keep in mind prevention and homelessness go together. They must be simultaneously addressed. So with no further ado, if there's any last comments or any old business we need to follow up with, I saw Kareen on here somewhere.
Yeah, she's come and gone. Oh,
Yeah.
she's back.
I'm here. I'm here.
Hi.
Well said, Tori. Well said. Prevention and homelessness go well together. Yeah, hand in hand. That's what needs to happen.
Anything you wanted to say about anything regarding discussions or what you've seen in the community lately?
Well, I've definitely seen a little bit of improvement around the community. I know there's
Okay.
much more work to be done, but I thank everyone here because everybody's contributing valuably for helping the community and combat homelessness.
Okay, well, it takes a village. It takes everyone to work together.
Correct.
And we have to get in touch with Muriel and start doing our walking rounds and see who we can help in addition to those who, the ones who keep refusing and kind of convince them that this sidewalk is not your home and get it in their mind that you got to do something different. Okay. So, Kareen, be ready. We're going to take our walk. Okay.
Sounds great.
Okay. Thank you guys. Thank everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
And everyone have a wonderful time until 30 days from now.